So you basically what you would say is anybody in your situation, it would be a good recommendation to help manage stress to come in and take a boxing class or learn something about boxing.
100%. And, when I reached out about this conversation, I said, tribe has been something that has had a huge effect on me. And so I don't think I think it's not only physical well-being, mental well-being, but dude, it's social,
Hey guys, welcome back to the Legends Boxing Podcast. I'm excited to have, I can't remember exactly what year it was. Was it 2019 that you guys were Member of the Year?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, didn't you guys earn Members of the Year at our annual awards banquet?
That would have been it.
Yeah, 2019. This is
a co-win.
Well, of course, I would have loved to have had your significant other here, but Chris Stein, he's a member at our Legends Boxing Lehigh, Utah location. So for those who are not aware of Utah, Lehigh is about 30 minutes south of Salt Lake City, and it's a small little town that is where Legends Boxing started. And so tell me about that. When did you and Sonja start?
The origin story is Sonja saw a Groupon, old school way of marketing, and took it up and showed up, and it included 15 minutes of one-on-one training. So she showed up, and beautiful Andrew Scott, most intimidating person in the world to her.
Okay, I'm glad he identified to her.
And did that, and then did the class following it, and came home and said it was really good, and it was nothing like she expected. And so then I decided, okay, well, let me take a look at this. And we booked both of us Saturday, and it was Coach Curtis coaching. And Curtis, you can't not have a good time in his class.
This is true.
So much energy, great music, and I was hooked. So we've been coming basically 6 days a week for 4 years minus COVID.
Yes. And you guys live in Orem and come to the Lehigh location constantly. And for those who aren't in Utah, Orem is just another city about 20 minutes away from Lehigh, 15 minutes away from Lehigh.
15.
What?
15.
Yeah, 15. And, for those who don't live in Utah, you understand that driving 15 minutes is not a big deal. But, that's a pretty big deal here in Utah to make a 15-minute drive to come to a gym. What time in the morning do you guys come?
We typically are 6:30, except for there's some exceptions where Sonja can't make it there. So Mondays and Fridays we do 8:30, and then Saturday at 8. And it's just what we do.
So tell me about that experience. I know that there's been, in the last 4 years, there's been some transitions going on in kind of where you started, how many times a week you're coming. There's been a little bit more, I guess your commitment level has escalated, right?
Yeah, I think we were fairly committed, and it was just a whole different, okay, this is more than, to be honest, it was a big investment for us. It's an investment in what you're doing. And so when we were deciding whether we were going to sign up, it was that conversation of, well, if we're going to do this, we're not going to go once a week. We're going to get our monies out of it. And it's been best investment we made for our health and overall mental health.
Okay, talk to me about that mental health part. Where has it helped you in your mental health?
Like Sonja would say, she's a better mom because she boxes and punches things. There is a level of clarity. A lot of people talk about mental health and things like that. And one of the terms I heard recently was mental fitness. You got to get your fitness up. You go to the gym to improve your physical fitness. I think it has an equal part reflection on your mental health. It just helps me not be as stressed, help me deal with life in general, just getting a workout, feel better.
Okay, that's awesome. What do you do for a living?
I run a software company now, but it's nothing too exciting. It's different. I used to be a concert engineer and did that for 20 years, and it was fun. And now basically work in that industry, but sell software to them.
Okay, so you sell software for audio equipment.
It's rental and inventory tracking type stuff. So as an example, one of our customers, they do audio at like Coachella Festival. So 9 different stages, top level acts from all over the world. They do all the planning and logistics using our platform.
So walk me through like a real brief summary of your day. Is it sitting behind a desk most of the time?
There's a lot of desk sitting.
Okay.
And then there's sometimes you go out and visit customers. But yeah, it's a lot of sitting on your butt.
People management?
We've been around for 14 years and we've always been virtual. Like we've rarely ever had main offices. So a lot of Zoom meetings, stuff like that. But we're very efficient managing. That's one of the things that, the nice thing about owning your company, you get to make your own hours in general, but there's a lot of stress that comes with when plans don't go as according, when teams aren't cooperating, when stuff's not getting done. So that's the sucky side of things.
When they're asking for you to continue to pay them, even though they're not going to keep working for you, certain stories like that.
Yeah, we've got really good employees. So I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of is just being able to get good people in that don't need micromanagement in general. So that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. So basically what you would say is anybody in your situation, it would be a good recommendation to help manage stress to come in and take a boxing class or learn something about boxing.
100%. And, when I reached out about this conversation, I said, tribe has been something that has had a huge effect on me. And so I don't think I think it's not only physical well-being, mental well-being, but dude, it's social. We know all the coaches, know most of the people in here. I can have a simple conversation with just about anyone, but some of my best friendships are now through boxing and just getting to know people.
So we stick pretty hard to our core values.
Oh, 100%. And I think, you learn from the best. You were the first person who, really exemplified that and really showed us what it was. I remember I think it was a Saturday class, early morning class, and, we'd kind of talked a little bit. Again, you seem like a mean, intimidating guy to most people. You have that, here's how it's going to be type of mentality. But you were talking to another friend, Scott, and mentioned you were going golfing and asked if I wanted to go. And that was like terror. What? Someone wants to do something with them? Oh, no, I can't go. And stuff like that. Made an excuse, and then halfway through the class, I'm like, well, that might actually be fun, but that's really outside my comfort zone and stuff like that. But so I went back and said, well, maybe I could go. And, that was just, let's take an experience outside of boxing and turn it into something. And so that was a great example of just reaching out, offering something, being a friend. And so that's where a lot of tribe came for me was that experience.
Well, I think I do remember that day. And just like you're right, like you said, you nailed it. A lot of your friendships have come from the social aspect of here. And that's the exact same with me as well. I think a lot of times, members, they sometimes don't put that into account that it's also changing our lives too. It's, as a coach or as the person running the class, that interaction and that engagement, that friendship being developed is also a change in our life for the positive as well. And so all of my friends are Legends members, or at one point were Legends members. And when you're a part of the Legends family, you're always a part of the Legends family. So like, yeah, that I'm glad you shared that story because I do remember that. It was at the ranches actually that we went and played. But that's another local Utah golf course around here.
And I remember afterwards, you and Scott were like, hey, we're going to go get sushi. And I was like, oh, no. Like, this is enough for me. I've got to go home and decompress because this is outside my comfort zone. But we got to sushi later on.
Yes, we did. and it's been an ongoing thing. We still get together as often as we possibly can, and that's one of the great things about the friendships and how they stem from what happens inside of Legends. And for those who have been listening to the podcast, you've heard it on almost every podcast that we are not just a workout. We are way more than a workout. Boxing is just what we happen to use, and the things that can happen inside of a Legends class. Like I personally have just never been in an environment like this. I really 100%. Have not. And it's amazing for me. So I was your first coach, but now it's Kylan and it's Tiffany and it's Brigham and it's Sonja is a coach now. So let's talk a little bit about that journey because there's been a lot that's happened. Like Sonja is now taken on coaching. So talk to me about that. Like, what's that been like to not only just see her and you guys go through this transition of boxing, but what's it been like to see her be on the other side of it?
Yeah, I think one of the things Lehigh has done exceptionally well is inspire people to want to do more and be involved. I kind of talk a lot about, what makes the tribe mentality is, you get out of it what you put into it. And if you just show up and get a workout, that's not a horrible thing. It's a great thing, stuff like that. But the more you get involved, the more you want to do more. Kylan was a great example. He was a young 17-year-old kid when we started working out, and he had no reason to be friendly. We were just on, I've got kids older than him, so we're on a whole different level, but nicest kid in the world, giving me crap and having fun, and I'd give it back just as much as he'd give it, and just a great guy to be around. And then he said he was in a boxing match, and all of a sudden, we've never seen a boxing match, and so we decided to go and watch him, and it was like, oh my gosh, that's what we learned. I saw him do what we learned and stuff like that. And so all of a sudden, you have another relationship that you built and stuff like that. And now Kylan's the head coach and stuff like that. And, Legends does a great job of training the next level of people. So all those people that you mentioned weren't coaches when we started, but they're great coaches and stuff like that. So that's one of the great things that Legends does is train people up and stuff like that.
So how do you think Sonja's loving her coaching since she's been trained up to doing that?
As always, everything has its intimidating side. It puts you out of your comfort zone. But the main thing that she says is, she loves the people. And it's, part of her journey was like, okay, there's something that I can offer. It took her a long time, coming for a year or two. And then it was like, I think I got something that I could offer back. And again, you get out of it what you put into it. The more you give in, the more you get out. And I think coaching for her has been that. It's been, you get back just as much as you give, if not more.
That's awesome. Now, didn't I hear you mention to me you're going through coach's certification?
Yeah, Kylan was just talking about me about doing shadowing, and we'll see.
Yeah.
We're getting it done.
Yeah. Well, I think from what I've been hearing and as we've been talking, that over the last 4 years, Legends has kind of helped you to be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it was you or Kylan, but every so often we'd be on the bag, and then you'd pull me off, or Kylan would pull me off and and all of a sudden it's like, oh, dude, you're in my bubble. And you're like, yeah, boxing gets in your bubble and stuff like that. And stuff like that. So it just gets you out of your comfort zone. it's, I always talk about embracing the suck, embracing the stuff that like, oh, I don't want to be doing this, but all of a sudden it's good for you and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so when should I expect to come in and take a class that you're coaching?
Give me a couple weeks.
Give you a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty excited about it.
That's one of the things that I love is going to different classes. Like there's like we go Fridays at 8:30, not because that's the best time for me, but it's Enrique. Enrique's just, again, you can't help but have a great time with Enrique. Same thing, Tiffany, just a great coach and stuff like that. So every coach has something just a little bit different. They all focus on something a little bit different, and that's the good thing.
It is. No, and I love that. And that is the variety and what one coach, may not see, another one will.
Yeah.
And so, if you can fit a different kind of switch and time frame, then I absolutely say do it.
Tiffany fixed my burpees.
Oh, really? I didn't know burpees could be fixed.
So there's a thing, and it may be a male thing or it may be a lack of core strength or something, but I used to kick with one foot before the other and stuff like that. And
so now she's got both feet going out at the same time. Right? That just made that more hard than it needs to be, right?
Called me out on it. Hey, that doesn't look very good.
Well, that is definitely what makes a good coach is the one who's not going to be shy to help you improve.
Well, exactly.
Right. So how much weight have you lost?
You know what? I haven't lost that much weight, but I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I'm in the best shape I've ever been. I think I've lost fat and gained muscle. Like, to me, it's not about a goal, but I'm happier than I've ever been as far as, my health is going. 52, 53, I don't know. So.
You can't remember how old you are?
No, I need my wife to remind me.
Oh. And he hasn't even been hit in the head, you guys. So not yet, not too many times. So what's a standout experience that's happened with Legends?
I keep on going back to what you put into it is what you get out of it. One of the great things that we do as the, national center, every so often there's new franchises open up, and part of that is getting them ready. And there's a thing called bag stuffing. And I remember one time you were in a miserable spot. And Sonja, like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I got 20 bags I need to stuff. And all of a sudden we're like, well, let's come and help and stuff like that. And it was just because wanted to share the suck, and stuff like that. And it literally has turned into a bag stuffing party. And, you get to see people outside the boxing with their workout clothes and come in and just do that and go out. You're spending a couple hours trying to help get, relieve some of the stress off the head coaches that are responsible for getting that done. And it literally became a bag stuffing party.
And it is a bag stuffing party because it is a lot more enjoyable doing it with people rather than doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the truth. So yeah, it's, I'm hearing throughout your guys' journey that you've basically you've inherited and developed an additional family.
Oh yeah, 100%. And we do a lot of stuff with everyone. We're in a great part of our lives where most of our kids have moved out. We've got a little bit more time, and we had a great fight night the other night. Davis versus Garcia, had about 25 people from Lehigh there at our house, and someone didn't show up.
Yeah, I'm asleep by that time nowadays, so
Oh yeah, we normally are too, but that's one of those things that started here in in the gym, but moved outside. And, you know, we've hosted coaches parties and stuff like that and things like that. So it has really had a huge effect.
No, it really has. And I've seen that it's had an effect on me as well. So shout out to the two of you. They did earn Member of the Year at one of our annual Legends.
It was mostly Sonja, let's be honest.
No, it was a combined Members of the Year. And, you know, like the example that you guys have set for me personally, and I'm sure it's been for a lot of other people in the gym, is generosity, kindness, and never forgetting people. My wife and I received a basket from you guys while we were in Las Vegas for our wedding anniversary. And that was like one of the most amazing things. You guys don't forget special occasions. You don't forget special days. You don't forget to go and say hello to somebody and try to make a little bit better of their day. So if there's any two people, and this is why I wanted to have you here on the podcast, is if there's any one or two people together that walk and talk our Legends core values inside and outside of the gym, it's the Steins, everybody. So I just want you guys, if you are a part of Legends, if you're in the Lehigh area, come to Lehigh, and I promise you they will come say hi to you. You won't even have to go say hi to them. But they resonate our core values. And so I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking the time to share your story, to share your side, to let people know why Legends is a little bit different. And this is, you heard a guy. I mean, he's an owner, a business owner. He's a family man. He's a dad. He's just like your everyday guy who's coming in and using boxing as a different form of helping him to kind of get through the rest of his day. So Chris Stein, everybody, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Good to have it. Good to be here.